Hello, my name is Peter Hall, and I'm doing this video in response to a comment from Redlands Unified School District Board Clerk Alyssa Ayala-Quintero's remarks about the school district's resolution to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America. Um, at the last meeting, she wanted to table the resolution and bring it back to committee, and she didn't want to pass it until every board member unanimously agreed on everything that was in it. And she had issues with um, just about every section of the resolution. And I'm gonna read that resolution, and I'm also gonna read the Declaration of Independence, because I believe that Alyssa Ayala-Quintero, board clerk Alyssa Ayala-Quintero, was diminishing the importance and significance of what our founding what our founders did, what was accomplished during the American Revolution. She's diminishing American history. So, gonna read the resolution. Here we go. Resolution number 2025-2026-31 of the Redlands Unified School District Board of Education celebrating America's 250th anniversary, designating September 26th or August through December 26th as America's 250th Recognition Month's draft. Whereas July 4th marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of the United States of America, and whereas the founders, guided by faith and conviction, pledged their lives to establish a nation dedicated to liberty, self-government, and the unalienable rights of all, as enshrined in our founding documents, whereas America's history is one of perseverance, sacrifice, and achievement, in which generations of patriots have defended our freedoms, advanced prosperity, and upheld the blessings of liberty, whereas instilling respect for our flag, Constitution, and founding principles in each new generation is vital to preserving the Republic and its values, whereas schools play a critical role in teaching students to honor America's founding principles, respect the sacrifices made for our freedoms, and recognize our nation's triumphs and challenges as a force for good worth preserving, and whereas the Redlands Unified School District is committed to strengthening civic education, historical literacy, and student engagement in democratic principles as demonstrated through Civic Learning Week and Civics Day. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Redlands Unified School District recognizes 2026 as the 250th anniversary semi-quincentennial of the United States, and proudly commemorates this anniversary by declaring the month of September 2026 as America's semi-quincentennial recognition month, allowing for thoughtful integration of activities when student and staff energy is high, and expects schools to engage staff, students, and families in age-appropriate, modest, and appropriate in-scale recognition activities celebrating America's history and achievements, such as patriotic assemblies, lessons on the Constitution and founding documents, discussions on the significance of liberty and self-governance, essay contests, projects honoring veterans, events highlighting the contributions of diverse Americans who helped shape our nation's history, and directs the superintendent to provide principals with optional guidance, sample activities, and free resources to support implementation without adding significant costs or time burdens to schools or staff. Be it further resolved that the Redlands Unified School District commits to using this semi-quincentennial as a platform to inspire students to embrace the principles of the founders, fostering a deep appreciation for the sacrifices made for our freedoms, and encouraging them to carry forward the legacy of resilience, innovation, and civic responsibility. And be it further resolved that the Redlands Unified School District calls upon the members of our community to join in this celebration, to reflect on the extraordinary journey of our nation, and to recommit ourselves to the principles of liberty, justice, and self-government that continue to make America a great nation. A great nation, passed and adopted by the Board of Education of the Redlands Unified School District on May 12th, 2026, by the following votes. And yeah. Okay, so here are the most offensive comments and suggestions from Board Clerk Alyssa Ayala-Quintero about the resolution to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. And here they are.
I wasn't, wasting time. But in the second paragraph, I do think that there is some question about the guided by faith and conviction, and I would like that changed to driven by profound conviction and the pursuit of liberty. There's a lot of cross-outs, there's a lot of slight changes, so what I would like to read as, whereas the founders, driven by profound conviction and the pursuit of liberty, established a nation dedicated to self-governance and the unalienable rights of all as articulated in our founding documents.
So you're taking out the word faith?
Yes, only because they were different faiths, and I feel like right now, again, there's been some semantic shifts, and I just really think that, we don't know what they were driven by, but really, if it was their faith or if it was their conviction, but it just felt a lot more inclusive that way. So I don't like this pledge their lives. They didn't sacrifice themselves, so why is that staying in?
As articulated in our founding documents, and whereas Americans' history is one of perseverance, sacrifice, and achievement, in which generations of patriots have defended our freedoms, advanced prosperity, and upheld the blessings of liberty.
I did have changes on that. Whereas America's history is a 250-year narrative of perseverance, sacrifice, and either great or significant achievement, during which generations of Americans from all backgrounds have defended our freedoms, worked to broaden the reach of blessings of liberty. Generations of patriots is a very loaded word right now, and patriots is a very loaded word right now.
Being patriotic?
No, patriots.
Like Americans of various backgrounds?
Yeah.
That's nice.
It still conveys the sentiment. It felt like a very loaded word.
What's wrong with a patriot?
I just said there are some words that have had a semantic shift. And I don't think anything's wrong with patriots. I just say...
A word for some people.
Said it was loaded.
Yes, it is.
Loaded with what?
It's a trigger word for some people. All right, we're good. Next, whereas instilling respect for our flag, Constitution, and founding principles in each new generation is vital to persevering the Republic and its values.
So I have, whereas cultivating a deep understanding of our Constitution, national symbols, which would include the flag, but it would also include things like the eagle, the olive branch, the arrows, it was kind of all-encompassing. So whereas cultivating a deep understanding of our Constitution, national symbols, and founding principles in each new generation is essential to the health of our Republic and the preservation of its democratic values.
Okay, so those are the most offensive statements that I've edited out from the nearly 55-minute video of them talking about the resolution to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. And like I said, they're all suggestions by Board Clerk Alyssa Ayala-Quintero to change the wording of the resolution and to water it down. And I think that, like I said, she wanted to bring the resolution back to committee, and she didn't want to pass it until all the board members unanimously agreed on everything that was in it. I think she wanted to do that so that it didn't get passed. That's what I think she was doing. But anyway, I'm going to read the Declaration of Independence now, because I think that reading that will refute anything that she said about wanting to get rid of words like faith because she wants to be more inclusive. That's just retarded. Here we go. A transcription of the Declaration of Independence. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which those laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. And then they read like a list of grievances that they wish to get redressed from King George III. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation, and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind. Enemies in war, peace, and friends peace. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name, by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. So, as you can see, Alyssa Ayala-Quintero, Board Clerk Alyssa Ayala-Quintero has problems with words and phrases in the resolution to celebrate America's 250th anniversary that nobody really should have problems with, but she finds it offensive, and she says that she wants to make these changes so that everything's more inclusive. She has problems with words like patriot. She says patriot is a loaded word, and it's somehow triggering for people. And I just, like board member Candy Olson asked, what's loaded about the word patriot? And she wants to change it. She and that phrase that she wants to change it to, generations of Americans, that's doing a lot of heavy lifting. I bet people like her consider anybody who happens to be in America an American, whether they're like a citizen or not. If they cross the border, they're American. They're an American, and they deserve American citizenship. So, anyway, she wants to downplay America's founding, the celebration of America's history. She wants to downplay that. But I remember when, like a few years ago, groups like Together for Redlands were trying to force Redlands City Council to fly the pride flag on city property, and they were trying to force the school board to celebrate LGBTQ pride and pride history and stuff like that. If those things had passed, then Pride celebration would not be optional. It would be mandatory, and the city and the school district would go all out to celebrate it. But she wants to make celebrating America's history, America's founding. She wants to make it as non-optional, as non-mandatory as possible. She wants to make it optional, and so that like schools in the district can ignore it or minimally celebrate it. Like barely acknowledge it. That's what she wants to do. So, and the fact that she is open about that, it really pisses me off.